Okay, anytime you have word problems in unit rate, you have to answer these read them, sorry, not answer them, but read them very carefully. And I'll show you the part that you want to pay attention to. At Smith's Bike Rentals, it costs $38 to rent a bike for 7 hours. How many hours of bike use does the customer get per dollar? You kind of want to look for that word per, because we're actually going to set this up as a division problem, but whatever comes in front of the word per, we're going to put inside, and whatever comes out of the word per, we're going to put outside. So the hours are going to go inside. So this is part A. We have two problems here. The hours are going to go inside, 7 hours, $38. So we can't do 38 divided by 7. Said that backwards. 7 divided by 38. So I'm going to make a decimal, and I usually start out with 2 zeros. There's no reason I do that. Actually, see how it says nearest hundredth? Because the number 100 has 2 zeros in it, you want to actually go to 3 decimal places so you can round properly. So I'm actually going to start out with 3 zeros because the number 100 has 2 zeros, and I need one more to round, and I'll talk about that in a few moments. So what I'm going to do here is bring your decimal straight up. 38 does not go into 7, so you got to put a 0. 38 goes into 70. I think 38 plus 38 is 76, so that's too big. So 1 times 38 is 38, and then I'm going to subtract. Okay, I've got to borrow from my 7. So 10 take away 8 is 2, 6 take away 3 is 3. Bring down a 0. And 38 goes into 320. You know, instead of trying to just guess these, let me show you a little trick. If you start with the number you're dividing by and add that, this is the first number on the list, add that to itself each time. So 38 plus 38 is 76. Now I'm going to add those. 38 plus 76 is 14, carry the 1, 114. Add that. I usually go down 9 numbers. I don't know if I need to do that this time, but we're just going to keep adding 38 each time. Let me continue to make my list, and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, this is a really neat trick for long division because it makes it go a whole lot faster, and you don't have to do a lot of calculating off to the side to see if you got the right answer or not. What you do is you start, I use numbers 1 through 9, and I circle those, and there's a reason I circle them, and I'm going to explain in a moment. But start with 1 through 9, and then start with the number you're dividing by, 38, and add it to itself each time. So 38 plus 38 is 76, 76 plus 38 is 114. You keep adding 38 all the way down. So now I'm going back to this problem here. I'm looking at 320. Well, 304 is not, 342 is too big. So 304 is the one I want to use. Now the reason this is so nice, you want the biggest one without going over the number that you're looking at. The reason why this method is so nice, the circle number goes up top and the number beside that goes underneath. And then you just subtract. So it makes it really nice to do long division if you use this method. It takes a little bit of time, a few minutes to make your list of 9 numbers, but after you've got it, it makes that division problem way easier. So 320 take away 304 is 16. Bring down my 0. 160. Well, 190 is too big, so I'm going to use 152, which is 4. However, my answer said round to the nearest hundredth, so I don't even have to finish anymore because 100 has 2 zeros, so I want 2 numbers in my answer. The only reason I did this third number was to decide if that's going to be 18 cents or 19 cents, because either that's going to stay like it is or it's going to go up. So the rule is if the circle number is 5 or larger, you have to add 1 to the number in front of it. But we're not going to add 1 because it's not 5 or larger, it's smaller. So it's going to be, and it says how many hours, so it's not dollars and cents. It's actually hours. So it's going to be 0.18 hours. Let me read that again to make sure that it was asking for hours. How many hours of bike use does a customer get per dollar? Yep, that's correct. Okay, so the next one, it takes 45 pounds of seed to completely plant a 5-acre field. How many pounds? So the pounds go inside and then per acre. So the pounds goes inside, 45, and the acres go outside. Oops, sorry. Sometimes my brain thinks the answer ahead of time. Times 5, divided by 5. So this is actually, I mean, there are no decimals here. That's why it says if necessary. This is part B, by the way. Okay, so 45 divided by 5 is 9. I don't even have to finish it because I know my multiplication tables. So 9 pounds of seed to completely plant a 5-acre field. Sorry, I just said that backwards. It's 9 pounds of seed per acre. Okay, the next one. I'm going to just do one more set of problems in case you need it. The nice thing about this being on video is you can always go back and rewatch it as many times as you need until you get it. Okay, it takes 65 pounds of seed to completely plant a 10-acre field. How many acres, okay, we got per here. How many acres can be planted per pound of seed? So whatever comes first goes inside. So acres, 10 acres. Whatever comes next, pounds, goes outside, 65. Okay, so, and it says round to the nearest hundredth, which means when I do my calculation, I'm actually going to use 3 decimal points so I can round properly. So I'm going to go ahead, since I can't do 65, 10 divided by 65, I'm going to go ahead and put a decimal with 3 zeros. And I'm going to come out here and make my list of numbers. I'm dividing by 65, so I'm going to start with that number. I went ahead and made my list here. I started with 65 and I add 65. Now I always use 1 through 9. You never need more than 9. And I circle those. And then you start with 65 and add 65 each time all the way down. So 65 plus 65 is 130. 130 plus 65 is 195. And you just keep adding 65 all the way down. I'm going to bring my decimals straight up. Okay, so 65 we already said does not go into 10. So I'm going to put a 0 up here. So then I got to see the number 100. Well, 130 is too big, so I know I'm going to use 65. So the circle number goes up top, the number beside that goes underneath, and then I subtract. I can't take 5 away from 0, so I have to borrow from the 10 and call it a 9. Okay, so 10 take away 5 is 5, 9 take away 6 is 3, bring down the next number, which is 0. So now we're looking for 350. 390 is too big, so I'm going to do 5, and the number beside that goes underneath, 325. Well, 350 take away 325 is 25, and bring down the next number, which is 0. So 250 is the number I'm looking for. 260 is too big, so I'm going to use the 195, which is 3. And I'm finished because I only wanted that number to decide whether or not I needed to round that 15. So it is going to stay like it is because a 3 is smaller than a 5, and we were talking about acres per pound of seed. So it's 0.15 acres per pound of seed. That's how much it will cover. Okay, letter B. A color printer prints 26 pages in 11 minutes. Here's the word per. So we want pages first. So 26. And minute on the outside, 11. Okay, we can do 11 into 26. Let me make my list of numbers to make the division easier. So my first number is 11. My second number is 22. Third number is 33. These are pretty simple. I'll go ahead and go. Fourth is 44. You're just adding 11 each time. 55, 66, 77, 88, 99. Okay, so 26, 33 is too big, so I'm going to use the 2 here. And the number beside it is 22 underneath. 26 take away 22 is 4. Now, it didn't come out as 0, so you need to put decimals. And since the directions say round to the nearest hundredth, I'm going to put 3 zeros to take me to the thousandth to see how I have to round. So bring down your 0. You had to bring your decimal point up. So 3 times 11 is 33. Subtract 40, take away 33 is 7. Bring down the 0. This is going to be a 6 here. 6 times 11 is 66. Subtract. Bring down the 0. And we've got a 3 as the third number after the decimal. So that means the 6 is going to stay like it is. So it's going to do 2.36 pages per minute is how much it's going to print.